Oh, I got this fitting nice. I had to cut it a 1/4 inch longer to allow for the lip. I had it just a little bit, but I could only lift up the back end so far before it hit the trim from the stucco mold. And I had to do the same thing over there. So it's going to be shy of this wall by like a 1/4 inch. And I dry fitted it in there. So now I got to stick my liquid nails in. My construction adhesive. And when I put the first piece down, I screwed it back about 5 or 6 inches from this edge, so I didn't sink that down too far, so that I got a little bit of a play to get the tongue in. And then I'll have to go back and screw that off. And I put a pencil mark up at the top of each one for the center. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, you got to do this. It helps. Even if you're going to nail the floor down or screw it down, I'm screwing it down. And I don't want it to squeak. I don't want it to get loose a little bit or anything like that. Okay? No way, no how. I'm even pre-drilling the holes for the screws. Okay. Now this one's, I got to kind of slide it in there below the stucco trim and try to see if I can be tricky about this. So I can lift this edge up. Come on. There. I can slide it one way or another. Okay. Take my screwdriver and I'm sucking it into the groove. Nice, that way I didn't have to put any blocks. Yes, I'm liking that. Now I've got to pry it. I've got to pry it over a little bit. I should be able to do it. I had everything cleaned out of it. Boy. That tongue's not wanting to go in all the way. I don't know why. Goes. Don't force it, just get a bigger hammer. Right? Got it just about all the way. Whew. I'm gonna be fine with that. I wish I would have been able to get it tight all the way. I don't know what the deal is with that. There was one bad place on the tongue, and I thought I had it cleared. Okay, it's not going to get any further. Okay, whatever. It's far enough in. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay, now I can pre-drill it and screw her off. I can't believe the whole thing screwed off. Look at that. Ha ha ha. Wow. I've got it all screwed off. I even lined up, remember these 2x6s went all the way across and tied into here. I even put a couple screws in there and along there, there, over here. That 2x6 went all the way to that joist, so I got some extra screws there. Same thing here. I got all the perimeter screwed off. And then on this joint, see, I just ripped the piece the other direction and made a long piece and fit it in there, put glue on it, my construction adhesive, and then I plastered that every 6-7 inches, 6 inches I think it is. I forget what the nail pattern is, but I'm under it, and I've got everything. I went back and put the screws close to the joint on the tongue after I put on the groove after I put the tongue in. So I've got one screw in both. And I looked at the bottom. I looked at the end of that, and I don't think I can get it much further. You see, it's like almost tight, and I don't know what the deal is, but the seam is the same all the way along there. That's okay. It's in. It's not gonna sag in between the joists. That's why that tongue is there. The tongue and groove. Okay. Man, none of this was square. I had to measure everything. And see this piece, remember I told you I had to cut it, so there's a gap there, so I'm gonna have to fill that with something. And I also had to make a gap there in order to lift that up, because I could only lift it up as high as the stucco mold. And so I'll pack that with something before doing the rest of the floor. Okay. Wow. Can you believe it? My pit is covered up. I've got some nice stairs here coming up. Coming up here, the floor is sloping. And then from this corner, it slopes back that way to about here. And then from here, it slopes down this way. And from up there, it slopes down and around the corner and I'll be able to build that up a little bit with some material, and I'll show you that later. Now it's going to be, the next thing I'm going to have to do is cut this bit back to the corner so that I could pull this piece up and patch in there. I got to do the same thing there. Remember, underneath there, the floor doesn't look too hot, does it? Right in there. Well, we'll tackle that tomorrow, and I'll have to wedge something down in there, and I'll wedge something down in there too. Before I pack this, I got to pack this area with some material, and I can't really do that too well with those big old holes there, right? See that hole? There's no way I can pack that with anything, with like Fix-All or something like Fix-All. I'm not going to use Fix-All. I'm using something else, and I'm not going to tell you what that is until I bring it out. But see, I'll have to fill that in, probably chop that off a little bit, put a little piece of OSB plywood in there, and then I'll cut some sort of wedge and kind of just push it in there, and then so that I can fill up the rest with my patching material. Okay, that'll be another day. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, that's all I got for this time. My hat always goes crooked. I don't know what's going on with that. That's all I got for this time, but I'll be back with more videos. And this is going to be really interesting, the next few videos, on how I'm going to tie this floor in. Because as you know, the other guys, they had the floor down here. They had this material going all the way across. Nothing leaked straight across, but at the corners it leaked. That inside corner or outside corner. Same thing over there, same thing over there, there. Back there, outside corner, along that edge, this outside corner, and down in that edge. And so I've got to take special attention to there. And see, before the water would just come down this column, and it would go right down through there. They didn't even have anything along this edge. Like this black stuff here, they stopped it. They ended up stopping it right in here. And they didn't wrap it around the corner. And they did the same thing on this column. This black stuff here went just to the corner. And then the water came down, right down on the inside, got everything wet, boom, boom, boom. So we're going to have to take special attention to that. And see, I had to adjust things over here because I wanted the water to flow downhill and then around over to there. I didn't, before they had it all coming over here, and then the water came down, puddled, went right down on top of this step, went down on top of that step, and you saw what it did to those steps. It just corroded them, and they were dry rotted on the backside. So once I come around the corner, this water is going to flow out this way because I'm going to build this up with some material and float that on down at an angle because I got plenty of room for my tiles. I'll have to look at that tomorrow and kind of figure out what I'm going to do. Okay. Well, thanks again for joining me. I hope you learned something today.